This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, streaming worldwide on WGNSSports.com, and always at the game. The game. It's where you've had breakfast with the coaches since 1992. It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. We'll talk to the coaches about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. Now from News Radio WGNS, it's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome in as we crack open a brand new Saturday morning. We've got girls basketball coaches joining in today on the Coaches Show. We do have a bit of a different lineup today, and I'll explain why. We've kind of flip-flopped Eagleville and put them early here this morning just because, so we start Cougar Corner at 10 or so this morning, because at 10:30 we've got Lady Raider basketball, so we want to make sure we have room for that and get all the show in. So Eagleville going to be first up here in just a couple of minutes, followed by Smyrna and Blackman. Then it's Laverne, Oakland, Stewart's Creek, and Rockvale, followed by Siegel, and then MTCS Cougar Corner. This morning, again, Girls Week, district tournaments in full swing for MTCS and PCA. District tournaments were last week. It's region tournaments this week. So a bit of a recap for you here this morning on the Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard and schedule. The number 1 seed Blackman Lady Blaze and the number 2 Oakland Lady Patriots. They were winners last night, so they'll play in the district championship game. The Lady Blaze, a 27-0 run to start the second quarter after trailing at the end of one, beat Siegel 72 to 22 last night. And the Lady Patriots edge Rockvale 47 to 41. Rockvale never led by more than 3 in the game, and their leads were brief in the second half. So, again, it was Blackman moving on to play Oakland in the championship game. That's on Monday in District 7 4A, and the third-place game will feature Rockvale and Siegel. Let's see, Middle Tennessee Christian School last night. They are playing in the Middle Region Championship game after their 53-44 win over Nashville Christian. They'll face Webb School at 6 o'clock, championship game over at Good Pasture. That's the 4th time they played this year, and probably more down the road. You just never know. PCA fell 57-28 to Webb, so they'll play for third place against Nashville Christian. Going over to District 8 4A, Stewart's Creek girls rolled past Laverne 51-29, so they're in the title game. Smyrna, they'll face Cane Ridge. Cane Ridge, which defeated Smyrna 46-37. And a little boys action with Laverne getting past Stewart's Creek 76-48 to reach the championship game versus Cane Ridge. Central Magnet also, their girls in the District 10 3A championship game, 58-22 the win over Valor. And Eagleville girls took the third place in the District 9 1A tournament. They beat Fayetteville 60-44 last night. So that is a look at some of the scores in girls play. And here is the schedule, okay? So today in District 8 4A, the girls' championship game versus Cane Ridge for Stewart's Creek, 5 o'clock. Smyrna and Laverne will play in the consolation game at 2, so 2 and 5. They're playing girls and boys championship today. In the middle region, it's MTCS versus Webb, as we mentioned, and in girls' championship, PCA and Nashville Christian playing for the consolation. Tonight in boys, which we will have on the radio from District 7 4A, semifinals, Oakland versus Blackman at 6, Siegel versus Rockvale at 7:30. Now, I said radio. I should have said on WGNSradio.com. We'll be streaming probably that first game, and maybe we'll get that second game in. MTSU men will be on at 4:30, so I think we've got a shot at getting that second game on the radio for you. Eagleville boys will play for a district championship in District 9 1A versus Fayetteville. It's Laverne taking on Cane Ridge in the championship game at 6:30 this evening in boys, and Stewart's Creek versus Antioch in the consolation game in District 8-4A. Cane Ridge beat Antioch in overtime. Antioch, the number 1 seed, knocked off by the 5 seed. So there you go. That is kind of a look at the schedule. You can check WGNSSports.com, and if you look for the scoreboard and schedule, you'll see the games that are coming up. We also have the brackets posted on the website as well if you want to take a gander at those. Well, that is your Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard and schedule. Danny is going to be in here for just a first interview here with Eagleville. Then I'll be back for Smyrna, Blackman, and Laverne. John will be around for Oakland, Stewart's Creek, and Rockvale. Then Danny's going to wrap us up this morning as well. So hope you'll stay tuned right here on News Radio WGNS.
The Coaches Show is fueled by McDonald's Murfreesboro, operated by McGuire Management Group. Look for our Shamrock logo, proudly worn by our team. We're supporters of high school and MTSU athletics. McGuire Management Group operates all Murfreesboro locations and in Smyrna on Nissan Drive. Be sure to download the McDonald's app for mobile order and pay, exclusive deals, coupons, and more. Also, follow us on social media at mcdonalds.mcguire. Want to join our team? Go to mcjob.net. McDonald's Murfreesboro, McGuire Management.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by the Law Offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com. I'm Danny Brewer. Welcome to the Coaches Show. We're joined now by Eagleville girls basketball coach Chris Lynch. Coach Lynch, how are we this morning?
Oh, doing good.
So, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the week that was for Eagleville girls basketball. I think that you're coming off a nice victory over Fayetteville. Am I correct about that?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so Coach, talk a little bit about that. I think final score was 60-44. That's in the District 9 Class 1A tournament. So tell me a little bit about what happened in that game.
Well, we were playing Fayetteville City, and the last time we played them, they beat us by 30, and that was in Fayetteville just a couple of weeks ago. They have a freshman guard that is very fast, and she scored 40 the game before we played them, and she's just very hard to contain. She's very, very fast, and so you have to respect the drive, but she can also hit step-back threes, and that's Trinity Dixon. And then they have a Holly Hoagland's daughter is, and that's the coach. She steps out and very good shooter, so it's hard to help off of her. And they have many weapons that makes it hard to guard them. And in the first half, we started out with a 9-2 lead. We hit a few shots, got a few stops, and then we started turning the ball over. We turned it over quite a bit. They came back, and at halftime, we're down 21-20. So we knew that had our work cut out for us. And second half, we changed up our defense just a little bit and started getting a few stops. And our senior post player, Alex Clara, played a really good game. She got fouled on 3 consecutive trips and hit 6 straight free throws, gave us the lead. We started getting more stops, and then we started hitting some threes. And usually when we hit threes, we're pretty good. And we're not a very big team, so when we do hit threes, it really extends the defense, and then we're able to drive some. So we ended up pulling it out, and down the stretch, Eliza McLaren was 9 of 12 from the free throw line, scored 18 in the fourth quarter, a lot of that from the free throw line. And, it just stretched it out. We ended up beating them 60-44.
That was one of the players that I wanted to talk about, Eliza McLaren. Of course, I didn't know that she had 18 fourth quarter points. When you're talking about a game like this, to do that in the fourth quarter, wow, huh?
Yeah, they held her in check pretty much the whole game, and then when they started getting behind, they started fouling, and she's our point guard, so we would usually throw it into her, and she would handle it until they fouled us. And she was stepping up, hitting her free throws, so that's real comforting. And, knowing you can keep the lead, even when they hit a couple of shots to try to cut it back. So it was a great night for her, and she ended up making the all-district tournament team, her and Isabella Sawyer. And Isabella was given the task of guarding 2 of the 3 games, the best players in the district. And she held the district MVP to 3 points. And then the next night against Moore County, she held that girl to single digits. So, when she was given that task, she stepped up, so her defense was very good. And then last night, Trinity Dixon, we put Eliza on her. So not only did she have a really good night offensively, she had a good night defensively, and Trinity ended up with 14, which I'll take 14 when you play her. She's so difficult to defend. That's
a really strong statement when you talk about, because people look at the score and then they look at the stat sheet and stuff, and they usually always look, so well, who scored? What they don't see are those defensive, or they don't always take into account the defensive efforts that girls put out, especially when you talk about you're hitting 18 in the fourth quarter, plus you're holding the other team's leading scorer in check. Wow. I mean, that's double wow. I'd already said wow once, so that's like double wow, huh?
That's right. Along with her, I told you about the shooter they had, Brindley Bain, who also made all season. She held in the tournament the 3 shooters for each team. She held in single digits. Last night she held that shooter to 0 points. So not only is Brindley a deep threat, and she had 3 threes last night, she also held the 3 best shooters from each game into single digits. So, and I believe they scored 5, 5, and 0. So we were really thrilled with her defense. Also, one player I hadn't mentioned was Shelby Mooneyham. She was a real good help defender. We let her play in that off spot, so she was always there for defensive help. And she had her season high the other night with 12 in the second game against Moore County. And she really came to us for us in the tournament also.
So I think, if I'm looking at some of the past performances here, Brindley Bain, she's had a couple of really nice games, scoring like double-figure scores. But like you said, the most important thing for her is defensive effort, and that's how you win basketball games this time of year, correct?
That's right. It seems like later in the year when people start knowing you're really good and you've played them 3 times, they pretty much know what to try to shut down. So Brindley was our leading scorer on the season at about 14 points a game. And so, teams pretty much put a girl in their face and they never leave her. And, last night she got off a few screens and hit 3 threes, so she had 9. And so she really helped us in that area. And then, when your defense is pretty much constant, you can have a bad night shooting, but if you're playing really hard, it's hard to have a bad night defensively. And even if players are making tough shots, and you're still making it tough on them. And I would say out of the 3 games, the best thing we did over the 3 games was rebounding. We out-rebounded every one of the opponents, held them to low offensive rebounds. So, and I think when you're playing a team that only lets you get one shot, it feels like that ball's getting smaller. I mean, that rim's getting smaller every time you shoot it. So I was real proud of the girls and how they performed.
Well, Pat Riley always said no rebounds, no rings. And of course, I think he won a few rings. The last thing I want to talk about on the week that was, chip on your shoulder game. I mean, you get beat by 30. That's the beauty of the postseason. Everybody's 0-0. So did the 30-point loss maybe provide a little bit extra motivation for these girls to say, hey, we're better than that? Any thoughts on that as far as a motivational factor?
We really didn't talk about that. So, I'm sure it was in the back of their mind. Our main focus was, you hate not being in the championship, but we had to turn our focus on this is our championship, and it's a big game. If you lose, you go to Wayne County, who's 29-0 for the first round of the region. If you win last night, you go to Richland, which we played Richland twice in the season, and we split. So, we were really fired up about that game, and we tried to have the same mentality as we did when we played Cornersville in the elimination game. And I don't know if people realize how tight our district was this year. If there had been one game difference in our district, all 5 teams would have tied with a 4-4 record, and all teams tied for first place, and would have had to draw names out to see who finished first. I don't think that's ever happened, but it almost happened in our district this year.
Well, talk about balance, huh?
Yeah, it was very tight. And so we go into the Cornersville game, and, of course, they're hosting, so we're playing at Cornersville. There's a lot of pressure, and the girls really played hard, and they played, their hearts out. And then we had to turn around the next night after playing a really tough game against Cornersville and played Moore County, who ended up being the 1 seed. And they're kind of our nemesis. They're big and they're long. They have a really good player in Ellie Graham. And we were tied with Moore County late, had a 4-point lead with about 2 minutes to go, and ended up losing that game by 2. We missed several free throws down the stretch that could have increased the lead, but that's why, like last night, I was saying Eliza hit all those free throws in the fourth quarter. It's such a luxury. The night before, we didn't hit all those from, various players, but we were in that game. We were almost in the championship game, and the last 2 phone interviews were pretty tough. We were in a bad stretch. One of those was that 30-point loss, and gave up 70 to Moore County a couple of weeks ago, got beat by 20-something, went to Huntland, got beat by 20-something, and played Cornersville. They beat us by 3 in a really close game, and we had several losses in a row. We ended our season going to Gordonsville and played very well. I think it kind of sparked the girls a little bit going into the tournament. But in the previous 2 phone interviews, I was saying, I hope we're not playing our best ball on this 4-game losing streak and that it comes back. So hopefully it did turn around, and probably playing the best ball of the season right now when it matters.
Well, that's what you want, Coach, because you're 0-0. When do you travel to Richland?
We go to Richland on Friday night at 7 o'clock.
Friday night, 7 o'clock. That's Chris Lynch. Coach, we really appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck. Sounds like you got things going in the right direction over there for the Lady Eagles, and continue to fly high. Chris Lynch, Eagle Girls Basketball, appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
One Hot and Ready Classic. We actually changed it with...
What? You've changed, Little Caesars. You've changed! You've changed! Ah! Tell me why.
It tastes even better because we added 33% more pepperoni.
Give me one of those.
Little Caesars Pizza in Murfreesboro. 4 locations: Memorial Boulevard, South Rutherford Boulevard, Old Ford Parkway, and Warrior Drive.
Walk in and walk out with the new Hot and Ready Classic with 33% more pepperoni.
Pizza.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
This portion of the Coaches Show brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car, professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE certified and master certified technicians. That is AutoRepairSmyrna.com online for Dr. Automotive. And it's time to make our trip over to talk some Smyrna Bulldog basketball this morning. Lonnie Drayton, how in the world are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Going good. Is postseason basketball play, you get to this time of the year, things are, you just never know how they'll go, right?
It is completely hectic, and I don't know, the old school coaches used to say you need to make sure you have some warm lemon tea or whatever for your voice, because at this time of year you just never know how you're going to wake up sounding. So this morning I'm very raspy.
Yeah, you've got the old coach's voice. We've done enough Coaches Show interviews to know, when you get this late in the season, coaches have the rough voice going on there. It's probably not too good for the old vocal cords either, is it?
That's right. I mean, I tell my wife, when we started dating, I used to be able to sing a little bit, but those days are long gone. So I have to resort to different things to keep her attention, I guess.
Well, let's kind of talk about things, how they've gone here in the postseason, and you've got yourself in the region tournament, and back when you took this job, Lonnie, there was a long way to go, and you've made a lot of strides to be in a position to possibly take third place in the tournament this week.
Right. Well, yeah, we were really looking. It hurts this morning because we were really prepped and ready to get an opportunity in the district championship game last night. And, as you saw, could not. I talked to Danny after the game. We could not find the bucket. I mean, the entire game, we just couldn't. I mean, we were getting the shots we wanted the entire game, and unfortunately, it was just one of those nights where absolutely nothing will fall. And then defensively, every shot, pretty much every shot Cane Ridge took was a challenge shot, and they were falling. I mean, hands in their face, girls, closing out with their hands up, and shots were just falling for them. And that's the opportunity you get when you get to host a tournament and you're comfortable with the goals. People say home court. Home court is in the tournament time is not that big of a deal, but it really is a huge deal. Just the familiarity with the location, the venue, and their shots fell and our shots would not. And I mean, I think it was so bad we had 2 points in the opening quarter. But defensively, we, like I told our girls, you're doing great. You held them to 8, but we just can't, we get a wide open look, it rims out. They get a wide open look, or they get a contested look, and it fails. So, kudos to them as far as hitting those shots, hitting big shots in a big, important game like that. So.
You had quite a layoff too, Lonnie, and I know I don't want to get on a soapbox here about the 4 classifications and the tournaments and smaller districts and that kind of thing, but sometimes when you have a long layoff, if you're playing pretty well, you kind of want to keep going, but you had about a week to think about things.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's some advantages and disadvantages to the whole week layoff. I mean, we're at this point, we got a lot of nicked up kids right now. Kids that are in the training room. That if it was a regular season game, I'd probably sit them. But we got these kids have so much heart and so much passion. I mean, they really want to represent their school. They really want to represent their community. So they just, I had a kid yesterday, that I would probably have set out, and she just looked at me and she was like, Coach, I don't feel well, but I'm playing. I'm going out there to play. My dad's gonna bring me some medicine, and I'm going out there to play tonight. And you appreciate that. So with the week layoff, sometimes that helps, but like you said, when you were shooting it well, I mean, we shot it well the week prior, and maybe that does have something to do with it. It's double-edged, and I don't know if I'll take the rest sometimes, because last night the rest might have hurt us. But normally to get bodies a little bit better, you'll take a couple a week off is great at this time. But I don't know. Hindsight, I guess, is 20/20 right now. So.
Yeah, and it's still fresh because this happened yesterday, obviously. Right. And basketball, we talk about this all during the regular season, that it is a tournament sport, and being that first game, but you did have Cane Ridge at Cane Ridge, and give Cane Ridge credit, their girls and boys have found themselves in a position to play in the championship games, and sometimes being on the home floor and gives you a small advantage and crowd and whatnot.
Oh, it does. And that boys game, golly, I don't know if that game was unbelievable. The Antioch, I mean, you got a rivalry like that, and for them to pull it off, and we sat and watched that. So, well, the worst thing, one of my coaches looked at me and said, this game, the boys, Cane Ridge boys upsetting Antioch boys right before we play may give their girls the energy and excitement that they need right here to try to get, that extra effort right there. And you know what? I think it did. So next time I'm going to ask the Antioch boys to, get it done so we can so we can have that opportunity to move on ourselves. So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was maybe one of the bigger upsets. And, in boys, Cane Ridge was the 5 seed and beat number 1 seed Antioch. But that just what that proves, and really in girls and boys, and especially for you guys, that's just the way this year has been. It's just been very close in all season.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you take into consideration the girls the girls bracket, I mean, you've got Stewart's Creek right now that, stands alone on this side. But if you look at the other region that they're going to, that we're playing on that side, and there's, I'll say Stewart's Creek, and then you got Blackman, Rockville, Oakland that are all three probably on the same level. I mean, I saw I guess that was an upset last night with Oakland beating Rockville, right?
Well, actually, it's interesting. Rockville has 5 losses, 3 to Oakland now, and 2 to Blackman.
Wow.
That's their 5 losses. So, yeah, and Oakland was the 2 seed. Yeah,
wow.
But it was a close game.
Right,
in that
it went down to the buzzer. Yeah, so that's. I think it's going to be. When they say March Madness, I think, especially Rutherford County in this area, I think it's going to really be March Madness to get into the Glass House this year. So, I'm excited to really be participating in it and being, just having our name mentioned in it. Like you said, a couple of years ago, we weren't even part of the discussion as far as, this time of year. So to have our girls fight and get better and climb back and, bring some prominence back to Smyrna High basketball. It's awesome to be, even in the conversation.
We've got Lonnie Drayton joining us this morning. He's the head coach of the Smyrna Lady Bulldogs. They are going to play at 2 this afternoon versus Laverne in the District 8 4A consolation game. And, you get to this game, and lo and behold, you're playing one of your biggest rivals ever in Laverne in a game. And you've had some battles with them this year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they well-coached team. I think the Tiana, their little point guard that's averaging 20-plus a game, she won the district MVP, in this district this year. And, I think, she arguably, I said, is, one of the best players in Rutherford County, period. She puts the ball in the hole at a clip. And it doesn't matter who's guarding her. She finds a way to produce and score. So that team, a lot of good young pieces, good, older pieces put together. We've been fortunate to be successful against them. But, like both of those games right there, it could have anything could have happened either way. The first one, we jumped on them a little bit. But the second one, they had the lead with 2 minutes on the clock, 1 minute on the clock. They had the lead. We had to, find a way to claw back in and win that game. So, it was very exciting games with your rival. Like we say, that's the old school. That is the actual rivalry for old school guys like me. Well, there wasn't any Stewart's Creek around. There wasn't any other schools.
And especially Steve Carter, being on the other sideline. I know you two are very, very close, and to play in such an important game, that's got to be pretty exciting for you two, and also, a little tough as well.
Yeah, it is, because Steve, I grew up being we were best friends. We've grown up, together, and if it's not, his family, they tell me after, because that's a Smyrna family. That is his dad, I'd spend the night over his house, and his dad would have a whole purple and gold room, so that was dedicated to Smyrna football and Smyrna sports. And, his family right now tells me, the only time we'll ever cheer against you is when you're playing Steve and Laverne. So, that is it's a special game and a special rivalry right there. So, and it's fun. Yeah. It's fun coaching it. It's fun participating, being a part of it. So I hope it's an entertaining game today for those that come out there.
Well, I know Steve has a big purple and gold streak, but he's going to want to beat you today, and you know
That's
that.
Right. That's right. But understand.
Well, Coach, I know that regardless of what happens here, you've got a region first-round game next week, and hopefully much more than that. And good luck today up at Cane Ridge, 2:00 this afternoon versus Laverne. We appreciate you spending some time with us this morning, and again, good luck, Lonnie.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Brian. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Lonnie Drayton joining us on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. Find out more online at CraigsTaxService.com.
Parks Auction. We handle everything.
Whether you're buying or selling a home or whether you're buying or selling commercial property, the auction is just so much easier, quicker, smoother.
My wife and I sold our personal home. Parks Auctions helped us with that. The house brought about 20% more than we were going to ask for.
Visit our website at parksauction.com to learn more.
Hi there, 12 and a half now, $15.
Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
30, sold it to you.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
I want expert advice on going 100% solar.
I want to go green without breaking the bank.
I want to meet my sustainability goals.
I want solar to be simple.
Done, 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 done.
I want to save the planet.
Little hero, let's start with one of MTE's solar programs first. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. What are some of the advantages that Carpets by Osborne has?
Being a family business and being locally owned and operated, we do free estimates. We have our own subcontractors that work for our business. We will come out, look at your floor covering. Throughout the whole process, you deal with an individual. You're not passed off to different contractors. We handle it from start to finish.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back here on the Coaches Show, and it's brought to you by First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, turn to First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services. Blackman girls head coach Jennifer Grandstaff joins us this morning. Her team punching their ticket to the district championship game with a 72-22 victory over Siegel yesterday. And, Coach, good morning. Congrats.
Good morning, Brian. Thank you.
Great to have you here with us today. Last night in the game versus Siegel, it was you trailed by a point at the end of the first quarter and then a 27-0 run. That was pretty spectacular by your girls.
Yeah, I thought we kind of came out in the first quarter and just let them dictate to us versus us dictating to them. And, you know, they made shots. They ran good offense, and we were just kind of a little flat. In the second quarter, we just kind of talked about it going into the second. You know, we need to pick up tempo and apply a little bit more pressure, and our kids responded to that. So we played much better in the second quarter and kind of got the momentum going our way, and just we're able to capitalize in the second, and then it just kind of we just built on it from there.
Yeah, and you had several who had great nights last night. Dunbar, we talked about Ayana several times,
yeah.
And I saw Shelby kind of leap from the sidelines, and I know that they probably have a special connection and work really well together. But just to see her, getting that support from Shelby on the sideline was kind of cool. But she has just improved her game so much.
She has. She's progressed throughout the season, and we were really pleased with her last night. Shelby does a great job working with our post players down there, and Shelby's young and new and in the game, and she doesn't understand that, some days are going to be great and some days we're really going to struggle, and she's just has learned to be patient with the kids, and so she was extremely happy for Ayana last night when she played well and finished in the paint and drew some fouls. So it's always promising when you practice and then you finally see some end results. So I was happy for our post players and obviously very happy for Shelby.
When I saw her 2 years ago, and you could see that rawness there with her, and then the poise she had. I mean, she attacked the basket. She went to the line a bunch last night.
Right.
She was your leading scorer with 18, but free throw shooting was not her strong suit.
Definitely.
But now has very much improved.
That's the thing about Anna. She's extremely mature. I mean, she's so fun to coach because she's mature. She's realistic. She really absorbs and tries to learn. And when she's not good at something, I mean, she dissects it, and kind of studies it. And how can I get better? And what do I need to do? And she's always a player looking, to be better and never settle. And she's one that's probably hardest on herself when she doesn't play well, which is awesome. When your kids are harder on themselves than what the coach is on them, you got a chance to make that kid be pretty special. And she's one of those kids. And she did. She stepped up at the free throw line. She was 10 of 11 from the free throw line. So that's huge. We will always talk about free throws, win big ball games, and throughout the season we have improved in that category alone across the board with our players.
And you just shot the ball tremendously well, especially after the first quarter. And you've had quite a bit of a layoff. You didn't play that last Friday of the regular season, and then you don't play until the next Friday. So you had a long layoff, about a week and a half.
Yes, we did. And I thought that, I really think that kind of had a lot to do with how we came out. We hadn't played in a while. But it was over a week and a half, and thought we came out a little flat and not a whole lot of intensity or focus. And but our kids picked it up real quick in the second and realized what we're playing for and why we're playing this game.
Well, Kaylin Flowers came in off the bench last night, and I know that she's been dealing with an injury. Was that her first game, or did she play on the Tuesday
She played a little
before?
bit in the Riverdale game.
Okay.
She did. So her first game back was Riverdale. She sat a good, a little over 3 weeks, and just took it real slow and worked real hard and rehabbed. And then you could tell that the week before she came back, she was getting close to coming back because she was doing a lot more on the sideline with her arm. And she came back Friday against Riverdale, and I thought she was a little timid, which naturally you would be after an injury like that. And played some good minutes, did some good things for us. And then last night we got her in the game, and she looked like Kaylin Flowers again.
Yeah.
She was attacked the basket well. She brought a lot of energy to our team. Played great defense. Was a slasher, made some shots. So, just stepped right back where she was, I thought.
So you got 14 from her last night in offensive production. Emily Monson had 17, but when you can add 14 points,
sure, in your lineup,
that's big to have her back, right?
Yeah, like I mentioned previously, when we lost Kaylin, I thought our team did a great job of stepping up and just playing together extremely well and making big plays throughout the course of the 3-week period. And I thought we improved as a team without her. Other kids stepped up and got better overall. And now with that improvement, and then to put her back in our lineup, I think it just makes us even a better ball team. Mm-hmm. I really do.
You're deeper because those other girls got a lot of experience.
Got a lot of experience. T. Moore got a lot of experience. Lovely Alexander got a lot of experience. Dunbar got a ton more experience. We inserted her into the lineup. So I think, those kids really, really improved, and now we get to bring Kaylin back. So it does. It provides us a lot more depth.
Well, and we got to see some of your young'uns, as we'll call them, last night, too.
Call them the Feisty Five.
The Feisty Five. Well, they were feisty, and, Corey played well. And, I mean, you are really probably – you've been coaching for a long time. This is probably as deep at post that you have ever been.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. We get really excited when we see Mariah in the game. She's so athletic and just got good body control, and she can catch the ball, and she's got a lot of potential. And we're just really excited to see what's going to happen the next 3 years with Mariah. We think she's going to be one of those special players to coach that can really, really do some big things.
She made one move at the basket that it's like you don't coach that,
right? Definitely.
It's got to be instinct.
Yeah, Mariah's definitely got the instinct, natural. A natural athlete.
72 points, that's a lot of points, and playing on your home court, all of those great things kind of feed into it. But the next challenge for you is Oakland, and it's not like you haven't seen Oakland a lot of times this year. And this district tournament is important to set up the next tournament, which is the region, and so on and so forth. So I'm sure that you have a few moments to relish in the victory, but you've got to put that aside and
definitely,
continue to play.
Yeah. I've got Oakland. They've got 3-4 scorers. They've got 2 big post players, got a shooter, got a solid point guard. I mean, they're a tough guard. They're a tough matchup. We've had some success with them this year, but as I told our kids after each game that we played Oakland, Oakland will be different when you see them in the tournament, and I really believe they will. So we just got to make sure we do what we need to do to be successful. That's what I talk to our kids about afterwards. We just got to worry about us more than we worry about our opponents right now, because I think if we're clicking on all cylinders, we put ourselves in a situation to be a chance to be successful. And, we're going to really focus on us today and tomorrow and then go out and compete on Monday.
Well, case in point, last night. I mean, you played 3 great quarters, but it's a 4-quarter game.
Sure.
So, as we go on, you have a tough first quarter, for instance, you kind of dig yourselves a hole. So
I think you were in my locker room.
Did you say that?
Definitely. We talked to our kids a lot about that. Like, it's tournament time. You can't afford a bad quarter, because if you do have a bad quarter, then you rally and have 3 good quarters, that bad quarter can still come back to bite you. And it's just getting kids to realize those situations, because you're playing a totally different season right now, and wins, you're trying to survive and advance, and if that was an elimination game when we had a bad quarter, then that could knock us out of the tournament. So just trying to get our kids to realize that, and hopefully, they will. I mean, they've been in these situations before, and so we'll see. We'll see. I think we'll come out a lot better Monday, and hopefully throughout the rest of the tournament.
Well, I feel like that we have talked so many times about this, and when you get into the tournament game and you play somebody for a 3rd time, and then maybe in a week later a 4th time, and that year that when you were at Oakland you played Blackman in the state title game 5 times.
Yeah.
Every game got closer and closer and closer. I mean, it just happens that way
right.
usually.
I mean, it's tough when you keep continuously seeing the same opponent. We know each other so well, with strengths, weaknesses. It's just going out and performing and trying to stay loose and, just play up to your potential. So, I mean, they're tough games to play, each other 4 or 5 times a season, but it happens, and you just hope you end up on the top side of it.
As you go into this game with Oakland, obviously you've got your focus on them, but you're going to be able to host the first round of the region. I mean, you've got a chance to once again, if the cards fall right and you win the right games, a chance to stay at home as far as you can go here.
Well, that's definitely been our goal all year.
Yeah.
When we knew we were going to host the district tournament, that was a plus, and then. Hosting the region tournament, if we could get in the 1-2 slot in the district championship, then you host the first round of the region. Then everything comes back to Blackman, and that's an advantage playing on your home court. So we knew how it was set up going into the season, and I think that's a huge advantage for us, and we just need to make sure we come out prepared and ready to play good basketball.
One more thing about your girls, they seem so very coachable. I mean, there were maybe a few intense moments in the huddle just to get attention, but they break the huddle, they come out with a smile. They take all of that well. They take coaching well, and that has to be fun for you, for girls who want to accept what you're trying to help them be better at.
You're 100% correct. I mean, I'm fortunate. I've told everybody I'm fortunate to be at Blackman High School. These kids have been great. They're eager. They want to learn. And like you said, they're very coachable. We've got great leadership in our huddles, and we talk a lot about body language. And, a lot of times if a coach is talking about body language, you're only going to get it maybe 60, 70%. Okay, I got you, coach, I got you. But when you got big leaders in your huddle and they talk about body language and how to respond to coaching and how they look you in the eye and how, that's just huge. I mean, I've been in this game a long time, and it's hard to coach kids with bad body language, and it's hard to coach kids that really don't take coaching well. But we've been fortunate these last 3 years that, they're just locked in and they're focused and they accept it and they take it and they move on, whether it be, kind of really tough or if it's just, hey, we can do better. They're able to respond from it. So it's been great. It's been great for me.
Coach, good luck Monday versus Oakland in the district championship game, and then region, and we'll see you a lot. We're in your gym more than we've been anywhere, I guess, already this year. So appreciate it.
Great. Well, thank you.
Absolutely. That's Jennifer Grandstaff joining us this morning on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Lascassas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more.
The Blue Raiders fans' source for officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear is Raider Tees. Located at 910 Ridgely Road, behind Chewy's, just off Broad Street.
Time to get out in the cold in style with officially licensed Middle Tennessee stocking caps, coats, jackets, sweats, scarves, and more. If it's blue and white with the Middle Tennessee logo, you can bet the best selection in town is at Raider Tees.
Raider Tees by Ideas Tees, 910 Ridgely Road, off Broad between Chewy's and Chili's.
Pizza. You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carry-out or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu, and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service. From personal tax preparation to business bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, at Craig's Tax Service, our staff is here to help.
Get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
As a former Siegel Star football player, I know the importance of the high school sports experience. Good luck to all county student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back on the Coach's Show, brought to you by JHA Company. That is Josh Houston and Associates. Jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and much more online at JHACompany.com. It is time to talk some Laverne Lady Wolverine basketball. Coach Steve Carter joins us this morning. Coach, good morning to you.
Morning, sir.
Good to have you. We've had lots of conversation about district play, of course, and in the tournament. You got yourself in the consolation game playing, your biggest rival here coming up tonight, I guess.
Yes, sir. We play Smyrna today at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock this afternoon, and I've already talked to Lonnie, and he talked about all those times that, you beat him up on the playground and all that stuff when you were kids.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
We've had some battles for sure. That's one of the good things about being in this district that we're in. A lot of good coaches enjoyed this season, a lot of ties to some of the coaches around in this area, so it's going to be a fun one today.
Yeah, they always are. Let's talk a little bit about how you got to this point in the tournament and playing at Cane Ridge, and you had to play two games to get to where you are now, and being in an elimination game, those can be tough, and you came out on top in that one.
Yes, sir. It's always difficult to beat anybody 3 times. I don't care what you're playing. Antioch came out and played well. Their big post player had 18 against us. She got a hot hand, and they came out and made some shots early on, but our girls persevered and came out with the win and gave a valiant effort last night against a really good Stewart's Creek team, and just ran out of gas, and hats off to them. They shot the ball well, played really good defense, and just had her number one more time last night.
Well, the final in that one, 51-29, but, sometimes, you when you're rebuilding a program, it's, let's win the minute, then let's win the half of the first quarter, and and putting those things together. And you've seen your girls really mature, I think, this season, especially under the leadership of, congratulations, the district MVP.
Yes, sir. Well, last night we had a bad start. We got down early in the first quarter, and after that, each quarter was a 1 or 2 point quarter. So, again, what I've said all year long, these girls, they've bought in and they don't quit, and that's the one compliment that our girls have been paid throughout the season, is their effort and their fight and determination, and they play to the final horn. And hats off to them for doing that and execute like they do. But, yeah, Tiana has had an outstanding season, 22 points on average in district play, 19.5 throughout the regular season, and she comes to play every night. Had a rough one last night, rolled her ankle that had been nagging her throughout the season, and so she had to fight to get through that pain last night, but never stopped playing, and she's a silent leader, and just really proud of the effort that she pours in to our program day in, day out, practicing in the games.
It's good to have someone with that drive, and really makes your whole team better when they have a leader like Condra.
Yes, sir. The captains that I had this year, both Corey Grimes and Tiana Condra, and Kelsey as well, the co-captain, their leadership and how they execute and how they've bought in and the work they put in every day at practice, that's showing to our youth, to our freshman and sophomore class that we have coming up. So that's a positive for the program heading in the right direction.
And speaking of program, I know you maybe have had the chance to talk about this on the air, but Tiana had 38 one game, and she went over 1,000 points, and it's been a little bit since Laverne has had 1,000-point scorer, and that's a big foundation that you can build upon, I'm sure.
Coming into the season, she was 448 points away from getting 1,000, and I sat down with her when she told me that was one of her goals this year, and I said, that's a big number. I said it's one that you can achieve, but I said we got to make sure that we're looking at the overall team goals as well, and if we reach that milestone, it'll be a great accomplishment. And she put in work, but that's a lot of points to score, and she's almost up to 500 now on the season, and she's worked extremely hard to get to this point. And again, she also mentions her teammates within her reaching that goal, because we've had a lot of unselfish players out there making sure she gets her touches.
Steve, this basketball season is in many ways very long, and in other ways very short. But in the long part of it, dealing with nicks and bumps and bruises and that kind of thing, it's amazing when you hear at the end of the season, some players have gone through this all year, and you really don't know about it. Basketball can be a grueling sport, and sometimes you have to gut it out, and your girls seem to be built on being able to gut it out, and that hasn't always been the case at Laverne, which is a great testament to you and your style and what you're trying to do at Laverne.
Well, we worked in the I got the job late in the summer, but once we got in school and I let them settle in the first month and we got to work, they were committed. I had my highest number at one point was 18 girls that were in there the 3 days a week that we was working out and getting some core strength and conditioning in and getting shots up. And they worked. And, all of us have gone through bumps, bruises, hurts, other things of that nature, but they've gutted it out. And I've told them I'm not ready for this run to be over with. I want to play as long as we can, and we're still a few possessions away, a few stops away. Still got to step up to the line and with a little bit more confidence in what we're doing there. And we're right where we need to be. We just got to get a few breaks, and hopefully that'll happen from here on out.
We've got Steve Carter with us talking Laverne Lady Wolverine basketball. Laverne playing this afternoon at 2 o'clock in the consolation game in the District 8-4A tournament versus Smyrna. And there were really, in terms of seeding, not a lot of surprises in the tournament so far, but still have the consolation and championships today to get through. So, kind of talk about this matchup with Smyrna. What problems do they pose for you?
Well, any chance you get to lace them up one more time, you need to seize that. I've told the girls, it's a little bit different once you get out of high school and you play co-ed softball or pick up basketball through a church group or something. It just means more when you're able to wear their school colors and represent your community. So it's going to be a good one. Lonnie does a great job over there. He's one of my best friends growing up, and he's my brother. And I could call him at any time if I need something. So he does a great job over there with both the basketball and the softball program. And I look forward to this today, and we're going to have fun with it. But they're a good ball team. Their post player is a mismatch in a lot of ways. She's really flipped the switch. I think the first time they played her, she had 9, and the second time she scored 26 on us. And they've got shooters that when they get hot, they're pretty tough to defend. So we've played them twice, 0-2 up to this point, and look forward to this matchup today. It's going to be fun.
Well, they've second game pretty close, and I tell you, I wonder, since you and Lonnie are pretty good friends, if you could get him to maybe email his game plan to you, that would help you, wouldn't it?
It probably would. I don't think that's an option though. But again, we look forward to it. Last game, at their place, we had taken a 5-point lead going into about 2 minutes left in the game, and we made a few critical mistakes. I made one of them, and hopefully we learn from that, and we can try to get better today.
Well, that's what it takes. And with your win way back on Tuesday, which seems like a long time ago now, and being in the consolation game, that ensures some region play. And, that hasn't necessarily been a spot that Laverne program has been in for several years. And this is another one of those building blocks that you can work upon. And you've got some region play next week, too.
Yes, sir. We have the region meeting on Wednesday at 10 a.m. and figure out some brackets there. But we're looking forward to it. That area of the county plays really good basketball on the girls and the boys side. So it's going to be a tough one, but it's a challenge that we look forward to. And we'll play anybody that's on our schedule, and we're just looking forward to continue to be able to play.
Well, Steve, appreciate you spending some time with us this morning. I know you've got to get everything together with a 2:00 game, and that's kind of a weird thing. And on a Saturday, I'm sure you're travel and all that kind of thing, kind of getting that together. So I'm sure you're going to be meeting here in just a few and head to Cane Ridge, huh?
Yes, sir. Getting to the gym at 11 o'clock, get some shots up, and getting ready to play one more.
Sounds good. Coach, appreciate you spending some time with us this morning. Good luck today and next week, too.
Yes, appreciate your time.
Absolutely. That's Steve Carter joining us, the head coach of the Laverne Lady Wolverines. They're taking on Smyrna in the consolation game in District 8 4A today at 2 o'clock at Cane Ridge in the 3-4 matchup there. Our Coach's Show brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue, ribs, and local favorites on Warrior Drive, locally operated by Anne-Marie Brentz and the Lanning family.
Stickers, labels, we do a lot of direct mail, booklets, manuals, programs. My name is Jeff Carlton. I handle sales and marketing for Franklin's Print Works here at Murfreesboro. We are at 2227 South Park Drive. Franklin's Print Works has been in Murfreesboro for over 25 years. We are a full-service commercial printer. We offer everything from business cards to brochures, booklets to banners, everything in between. Our website is franklinsprinting.org.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're catching up with Anne-Marie Brentz at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive, another one of our great local businesses.
Yeah, it's a big family business. Knowing that my grandparents started it, to see it evolve and what it is now, it's just been really cool, and I love it. It's just something I'm very passionate about, and customers have been great to us as well.
Whether it's a quick meal, feeding the whole family, or catering, Rick's Barbecue can handle it all.
It's really something I'm really passionate about, very blessed and thankful for.
Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
This is Steve Martin of Steve Martin Construction and online at stevemartinconstruction.com. We specialize in custom-built homes and work directly with you to assure that it's the home of your dreams. If you have the perfect lot, we can build the perfect home. Let us take your ideas and create the home you've always dreamed about. You can see some of our work online at stevemartinconstruction.com. Steve Martin Construction, online at stevemartinconstruction.com.
Your home, your auto. Together, they're where life happens. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Wommel. It's smart to protect them together to help life go right. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me help you save by combining your home and auto.
Every team knows which play can be the winning move. I'm State Farm Agent Bud Morris, here to help life go right by combining your home and auto insurance. Call me today at 615-893-1417. It's a winning move that saves you time and money.
Hi, I'm Rick Thornton, Senior Vice President and Commercial Banker at First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you have commercial and business financial needs, let me put my extensive experience to work for you, and you'll see why First National Bank of Middle Tennessee is the place for hometown banking. We have branches at 1708 Gateway Boulevard and 3427 Memorial Boulevard, and always online at fnbmt.com.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS 401715.
Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them, 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the Coaches Show brought to you by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete, tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. I'm John Dinkins, joining the group here this morning, and happy to have Jessica Southern with us this morning, the head coach of the Lady Patriots. And Jessica, it is a congratulations on last night's win, and it just seems to go, and you've continued the tradition. Oakland just gets really hot in the district playoff and the tournament, and hopefully it'll keep on going. But a big, impressive win over a really good Rockville team last night.
Good morning. Thank you.
The big win, I guess, I was the poise that you guys showed, particularly in the end when Rockville was, in fact, even got the lead there for a second or two. I thought your girls showed a lot of poise last night.
Yes, for sure. We've had several close games throughout the year, and I think that really prepared us for that. Early on in the season, we beat Green Hill in overtime. We were down against Cookville by like 9 or so up at their place, cut it, had the opportunity to win it, and we didn't, and we took it to overtime. And so we've been in a few matchups. Our games with Rockville have been close, both of them, and it's been pivotal moments toward late in the game that we've been able to pull away. And just being in that environment and that situation, I feel like has made the difference for us.
Well, you were down one player last night when you started the game, but you had some people pick up the slack, and I thought Poole had a really good game, scored 17. Maya did her thing with 13, and talk about them. But before you do that, I want to mention somebody else. Artasia Cole, I thought, played one of her better games in terms of leading the offense, penetration, dishing off. I thought it was one of her better games as well.
Yeah, she definitely looked at the opportunity to get downhill and to create, and not only create for others, which is typically what she looks to do, which is one of the reasons why she doesn't score a lot, because she, that's her goal, like sharing the ball with my teammates, getting them good shots, racking up assists. It's kind of her go-to, but generally last night she was able to get downhill, and, they didn't necessarily crash on her, so she was able to get some shots off. And with her and some of those that came off the bench, that combination of points really helped us.
In fact, you got in a little bit of trouble, but Poole just kind of stayed steady all night. Just each quarter, she just did her thing, and I mean, it was a presence inside that you really needed.
Yes, for sure. It gave us a really good game.
I want to talk a little bit too about Perry, who came off the bench. And I had talked to Brian, I guess it's been 3 or 4 weeks ago, Jessica, and I was talking about this kid looks good in the few minutes she's playing at the end of the game and that kind of thing. And I said, you watch, she's gonna play a little bit more down the stretch here. And indeed, she got the call last night and really put in some big minutes for you.
Yes, over the last, since we've been back from Christmas, she's gotten minutes even in our, closer games, just for foul trouble and various things that we've had going on, or sickness where people have missed. And so we kind of joked about the first one was kind of like, oh no, she kind of gave us that, I'm going in. But then after that first game back at the beginning of January, she's been, steady, getting more minutes, over the last several weeks. And so last night she gave us really good minutes when we got into a bit of foul trouble, and had some pivotal baskets at key times.
Let's go back a little bit, and you had a big win over at Lebanon in a tough place to play, and what a great team they have, and a big win. And then you lost to York, but they're very talented, and then this win last night. It seems like Oakland over the years has always, and I mentioned this before as soon as we came on this morning, it seems like Oakland always seems to respond in postseason, and it's kind of been that way for several years. And what do you think the secret to that is?
Honestly, I really don't know. It's just one of those things of, like, throughout season, considering this year with, like, adjustments and changes, changing systems, changing players. That's one thing that, we always talk about, like, even if you return most of your players or you return most of your starters or scorers, like, each year is different, whether it's, different people playing, you have, an added freshman, new coaches, an adjustment and change. And I really feel like in the past, like, since I've been at Oakland, it's just kind of been us really finding our fit throughout the season and continuing to grow and continue to get better and, like, kind of figure out what works for us and what doesn't, or, making adjustments throughout the season. And then toward the end of the season, collectively, on the court, like, the kids, really, feel comfortable playing with each other and knowing what, like, the coach's expectations are.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Maya again. Not only did she popped in 13 last night, but I thought personally her defense was a big difference in the game, particularly fronting down low and just hounding defense. That's the only way I can describe it. Just she was all over the floor.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. She brought a lot of energy for us, and that's, I think, for us coming out last night, ready to go, really was the difference maker for us in the first quarter.
This schedule that you've had this year, it's been brutal at times. You've had, but I guess it's really prepared you for this moment right now that you're in coming up Monday night.
Yes, for sure. I believe I was talking to another coaching friend earlier in the week about scheduling and things like that. And since I've been at Oakland, we haven't shied away from competition. Like, during COVID years, when we weren't allowed to play at home if we weren't in school, but we can go play on the road. Like, we picked up Upperman, we picked up Bradley, we picked up the best of the best, and that's kind of how our schedule has been throughout the years that I've been here at Oakland. It's just one of those things where, like, people kind of look at a record and be like, oh, you got 6 losses. Oh, you got 9 losses. Like, who we played? And then I was like, oh, okay. And I feel like that has prepared us for postseason, and I feel like that has played a part into us growing and learning and being in tough situations or being pressed, having to execute when it matters.
We're talking to Jessica Southern, head coach of the Oakland Patriots. And before we talk about Blackman, which is coming up, they're no secret to you. You've played them already a couple of times. Let's talk about the bench a little bit, because I think a lot of people in the last several games, maybe the last 10, I guess, they have really done some good things. I know there's Cox. I can name a bunch of them, but Perry's another one. You've really seemed to found a niche. All of them have found a niche in the roles that they're supposed to play, and I guess that's what it takes to win ball games is knowing what you're supposed to do when you come in a game.
Yes, I think, like you were saying, like I said, over the last several weeks, because of foul trouble and various things, that we were given the opportunity to get our younger kids some minutes, and not necessarily just at the end of a game where we're losing bad or up big, that for them to be able to build that confidence and know what their expectation is, know what their role is. And that's something that comes along with growth throughout the season, kind of like I was talking about. Like, you want to be peaking at tournament time, you want to be playing better, and I feel like them getting minutes over the last several weeks, in various scenarios, has really helped us grow and helped us on and off the court.
You've got Blackman now Monday night for the district championship, and congratulations for getting there. And now your concentration will be on Blackman. They throw a lot of things at you, and what is the key to success against them? Because they seem to not have very many weaknesses.
Right. For us, I feel like against them we haven't played our best, like personally, like things that we've done. They're a great team. Coach Will have some great kids that do a variety of things. So really for us is, really coming ready to play and to play our game and to really compete.
And coming into this game, it almost appears, when you're playing against a really talented ball club, do you go into the mentality, we don't have anything to lose, let's just do it. Let's just play your hardest and see what happens. And does it make it, I don't know, I guess maybe more relaxed? That's probably not a good word to use, but, do you go in with that mindset, or do you feel like, hey, this is something we can do and we can pull this off? And it's happened before, as you know, in past history, in district tournament championships, you never know what's going to happen.
Right. Like, it's one of those moments of, like, this is what everybody has worked for. This is what everybody wants to be a part of. Win or loss, getting to the championship game is big. And that's something that I was telling the seniors, that since, that they've been here, that I've been here as well, that we've been a part of the district championship some years. Should we have been there? Yes, no. Are people surprised we were there? That, it's an opportunity, for us, to lace up and go play again. And, like, we've got to make the most of it.
I know they've got Flowers coming back, and they've got some bigs inside, and you'll have Chesterfield back, and then I would think that's going to be a big help for you as well. But you got to play your A game. I don't care who you're playing in the championship game. The other team's going to come to play. You got to be ready to go, which I think you were last night. I think you will be this Monday night.
Yes, that's like what we talked about. Just 4 quarters from the beginning. We've had, like we've talked about in the past, we kind of did a passing of quarters. Like, first quarter was a little down, third quarter was a little down. Over the last several weeks, we've done a better job of being consistent throughout the whole game.
I know it's been a weird year for you because your first year and a little learning curve on some things, but you've got to be pleased with how they've responded to you and how they're playing right now, and hoping for good things to come. And even win or lose on Monday, your season's still alive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Jessica, good luck to you, and congratulations on the win last night, and good luck to you on Monday.
Thank you.
All right, that's Jessica Southern, the head coach of the Lady Patriots of Oakland. And when we come back, I'm talking to somebody. Oh, yeah, it's Stewart's Creek. That's right. And we'll be back with more of the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. This portion brought to you by Carpets by Osborne, who would love to help you complete any job, whether residential or commercial. Carpet, tile, hardwood, vinyl, rugs, and more. Locally owned, online at carpetsbyosborne.com. We'll take a timeout and be right back.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
You've probably heard it a million times. If you're injured, call a lawyer. And you probably haven't because you don't know how much it will cost, how long it will take, or even if you have a case. At the law offices of John Day, we provide a free initial consultation because we understand that folks don't want to pay a lawyer only to find out they don't have a case. If you think we can help, we do so on a contingency basis, which means we only get paid if you do. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door and hope you find the customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed Supply caters to all homeowners with a quarter acre to several acres, focusing on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
And yes, you can even get milk from the MTSU dairy at Las Casas Feed Supply, the best milk in town. Las Casas Feed on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
Is your saving for retirement strategy involving the phrase, "I'll get around to it someday"? If so, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, and when it comes to meeting your goals, time can be on your side, and there's no better time than now to get started towards your retirement goals. Give us a call, Lee Colvin, at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
The Coaches Show is fueled by McDonald's Murfreesboro, operated by McGuire Management Group. Look for our Shamrock logo, proudly worn by our team. We're supporters of high school and MTSU athletics. McGuire Management Group operates all Murfreesboro locations and in Smyrna on Nissan Drive. Be sure to download the McDonald's app for mobile order and pay, exclusive deals, coupons, and more. Also, follow us on social media at mcdonalds.mcguire. Want to join our team? Go to mcjob.net. McDonald's Murfreesboro, McGuire Management.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
This portion of the Coaches Show brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity. Online at MTE.com. John Dinkins back with you here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. And Bianca Hensley joins me here, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Lady Redhawks. And, Coach, quite a season so far, and I know you want it to continue at least a couple more weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, John. Thank you so much for having me this morning. It's definitely been an exciting season. Excited to get things started today in the district championship.
You know, it's been a great year, and I'm going to kind of let you talk about some of those. I want to go back to the last three games, and I try to do that to cover some games that we may have missed. You had a win over Smyrna, 76-20. Then a win over Cane Ridge, 69-25. That was senior night. And let's talk about senior night just a second, because I know you've got some guys that you want to congratulate for being there and contributing to your program.
Yeah, absolutely. We have three seniors this year, Taylor Turner, Megan Henniger, and Reese Hale. Taylor Turner, she's been injured for pretty much half of the season, but she has been a great leader for us on the bench. Then we have two starters, which is Reese Hale and Megan Henniger, which are seniors, and they have provided us with so much leadership this year on the floor. They have had great senior years, and on senior night, they played extremely hard. I think everyone played hard for them. They put so much time and effort into this program for 4 years, and so just so excited to be able to coach them.
You know, I can remember when Reese was a freshman, and I'm thinking how fast time flies. It just seems like it was yesterday, and here we are, and it's senior night for her and Megan as well. I mean, it's just crazy. And Turner coming off the bench when she was young. I mean, it's just crazy how quickly it goes.
Yeah, time goes by so fast. I came in with that bunch, so they're very special to me. Reese has had an exceptional season for us. She's so long, and she's an energy player. She's been so productive for us throughout the course of the season. And, last night was no different. She had a huge night for us. And then Megan Hanniger, she led us in scoring last night. And, obviously everyone knows, she's a shooter, but she just has that shooter mentality. It really doesn't matter if she misses a couple, but she's still going to pull the trigger. And I'm just so proud of those young ladies, those two, and also Taylor Turner. Just so much. They have given so much to our program over the course of the 4 years.
It seems like Stewart's Creek, since its existence, has always had, even before you got to the program, they've always had one or two really good girls to kind of show that leadership and play on the floor. And this year, not any different. And you got some good ones coming back as well. You had a 51-29 semifinal win against Laverne, and now here in the championship today. And tell us about your opponent you're fixing to face today.
Yeah, so today we play Cane Ridge at 5 o'clock for the district championship. Obviously it's going to be a battle. Anytime you can play at home, which is Cane Ridge, we know it's going to be tough. They're really young. They play hard. Coach Reed does a really good job. They're going to press just like we're going to press them. They have some shooters. They have some bigs. And so just look forward to the matchup tonight.
The year has been excuse me. The year has been quite fascinating. I mean, 8-0 in your district, 26-3, I think, if I got that right. But it's been moments that I think these kids can look back and the ones that are going to return, it kind of brings pride into the program, doesn't it? I mean, just the fact this is what we've done. We've not finished our job yet. You can't get too excited about too much until you make that finish line. And I know that's something that you've been preaching to your girls.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to kind of go back and, just state that, our kids are just hard workers. For us, it starts on defense. We've had a lot of changes. We have 3 sophomores that have played tons of minutes for us. We also have some veterans and our seniors that have provided leadership for us. And our kids over the course of the season have worked tremendously hard. And, last night, for us, it starts on defense. And, we talked about those last 3 games in Smyrna, Cane Ridge, and Laverne. Our kids are doing an exceptional job on defense. And I think, us playing so hard on defense just speaks volumes of, how hard we work and what we take pride in here at Stewart's Creek. And so I'm just really proud of our young group. I've been fortunate enough to be able to coach some very talented kids over the course of my 4 years here, and they have provided leadership as well. And so I'm very proud of them.
You talk about your defense, 20 points given up, 25, 29, and it's really defense doesn't slump, and that's usually a good sign of a good ball club. And I know you really take pride in all the defense and the things that you do defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. And one kid that sometimes it doesn't show on the stat sheet, but it's Layla Wilder. Last night we played Laverne, and they have a district MVP in Tiana Kundra. She's averaging about 22 points a game, and she did a great job on her last night, held her to 3 points, and we took her out of her comfort zone and made it hard for her all night. And our kids just stepped up last night defensively, and like I said, just all throughout the season as well. They played extremely hard.
You've had those 3 seniors that have kind of led the way, and I want to mention Henniger just a second. She's been a steady scorer. She's one of those, if you see her like out on the street, she probably doesn't stand out at all. But boy, a tremendous shooter.
Yeah, she definitely is. Megan has a lot of confidence in her abilities, and we have a lot of confidence in her and in the other ladies as well. So, she has that shooter mentality. Last night, like I said, she led us in scoring, and she's just done a really good job for us, not only scoring, but also just with energy, been a great defender as well. And so she's doing everything that we've asked for her to do her senior year.
I know you want to cap it off with a district championship. How big is that in terms of games down the road here now as we get into the region play?
It's huge for us. Obviously last night we talked about what was at stake, and that was getting a home game next Friday, and we were able to do that. And, for us, it's huge to potentially win a district championship today. Last year was our first one ever in school history, and the school's never, ever had a back-to-back district championship. So it's huge for our kids. It gives us confidence moving forward into postseason.
We're talking to Bianca Hensley, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Lady Redhawks, 8-0 in district play. We're fixing to take a district championship into the game today, and it's so exciting at this point. And it's a once in a lifetime thing for a lot of girls. This is the thing you preach. I guess, we've got a chance here to do great things, and you got to kind of throw that at them and let them know just how serious, because after all, they're 15 or 16, 17-year-old kids. Sometimes, I think I don't know that they realize where they are at the time they're there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yesterday, that was actually part of my pregame speech. I was talking to Megan and I was talking to all of them in front of our group, and I told them, you're not going to remember any individual achievements, but what you are going to remember is just your championships, your district championships, region championships, making it to the glass house. And so in 10 years, that's what I want them to think of when they think of this group. And so our goal is to, hopefully win one today.
You've had a real team effort. I know Henniger kind of shows, kind of stands out a little bit with her shooting, but gosh, it's been a really team effort. I think probably more so than maybe any of the years as I can recall.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. This group, I've been saying this since day one. Our kids play so hard, and, every night I feel like there's a different leading scorer, and we're so well balanced. We have Autumn and Ashley Crick, too, that provide us tons of minutes, and they do a really good job, whether they're starting or coming off the bench. We have a great defender in Layla Wilder. We have two bigs that have stepped up tremendously in Camden Ward and Jada Bernard. And we have energy players like Reese and, Megan, and so it's just a complete team effort.
It's kind of good to know, too, that if somebody's having an off night, somebody can pick up the slack, and you don't find that too often, and that's a good problem to have, isn't it?
It is a great problem to have. I'm able to, switch my lineups. We count on 7, 8 or so kids to step up for us, and over the course of 29 games now, they have all done their job, and so I'm just so proud of them, and I just hope that we can continue to do well in postseason.
And how big was – I know Turner injury had to be devastating to you guys. What a terrific player she is. But has it made you stronger maybe in the long run in terms of overcoming that obstacle, because she certainly was a tremendous player?
Taylor is a phenomenal student-athlete, and I absolutely hate that for her. She had so many things that she wanted to achieve this year, and her season got cut short around Christmas. But I can't say enough about how she has persevered through, the injury, been a great leader for us on the bench. And I think when it happened, obviously everyone was so stunned. Obviously that's our leading scorer. That's our go-to player. And then, we just had to figure out, everyone had to step up. And I think we've all done that. I've been proud of our young ladies that bought in, got some kids in some different positions. But they just bought in and did exactly what we wanted them to do. So I can't say enough about them.
I know you'd love to have her, but just her being on the bench and doing the things she's doing has got to be a tremendous help to all the rest of them that are out there and are able to play.
Absolutely. It just speaks volumes on how Taylor Turner has matured. It just speaks volumes. And like I said, I'm just proud of her, proud of how our kids have stepped up. And so we also have great senior leadership with Taylor, with Megan, with Reese, and we have some younger kids that have bought in as well.
Well, Coach, good luck today, and we're going to see you next week. One way or the other, we're going to see you, and hopefully you'll take home a district championship today.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's Bianca Hensley, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Redhawks. They're in the district championship game against Cane Ridge girls today, and good luck to them, and we appreciate her coming on. And this portion of the show has been brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com. When we come back, we'll be talking Rockville basketball with Bill Hockenberry as we continue here on the show.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
This Fanceroni pepperoni is fancy.
Am I fancy enough for the Fanceroni? I'm wearing cargo shorts.
But Tim, so am I.
Try the Fanceroni pepperoni with over 100 old world pepperoni.
Little Caesars changed the Hot and Ready Classic and added 33% more pepperoni, which makes it 133% better pizza than before. It's really good. Order a new classic online and use our convenient Pizza Portal pickup.
In Murfreesboro on Memorial, Warrior Drive, South Church, and Old Fort.
Pizza, pizza.
You've seen the ads out there, companies wanting to buy your home. But why sell yourself short when you can get fair market value? I'm Lisa Patton. If you have an estate to settle or a home to sell, call Parks Auction. We'll work with you to sell your home or property in any condition with no costly repairs on your timeline. Why accept one offer when you can have multiple? You need Parks Auction. We look out for your best interest. Call Parks Auction today. We handle everything.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan Franz Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan Franz Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan Franz Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranzconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
This portion of the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner brought to you by Bowen's Body Shop. From dings and dents to full body work, trust Jeff and Cal Bowen to do the job right. They're located on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. John Ding is back with you here. This is my final interview today. I think Danny Brewer takes back over after this one, and he'll also have Cougar Corner later on. Bill Hockenberry, my guest from the Rockville Rockets. And Bill, tough loss last night, but first I got to admire you. You come in, you've got a Braves hat on, and we're getting ready for another, what I hope to be a great year.
That's right, John. You know, it was a tough loss for us last night, but the great time right now, you know, it's spring training time, and you can see that the pitchers and catchers reported, and I saw Ron Washington hitting some grounders to Grissom and Albee.
That's concerning you, isn't it? Yeah.
So, you know, we got to make sure shortstop's taken care of over there. You know, that's a big loss with Dansby.
Well, I think Olson's going to have a great year, and Riley's going to have a great year, and we're going to find a left fielder that can hit.
That's the next thing. We got to look for the left fielder. Looking forward to seeing some Northport games. We got a new Braves play-by-play announcer.
Yeah, I'm looking forord to that. Yeah,
so it's going to be good.
I heard good things about him.
He's going to do a real good job.
Yeah.
If anybody that plays the Madden video game, I mean, he's the voice of the Madden video game. He's going to do a really good job.
Is it smooth? Is it a smooth voice?
It's very smooth, and I think it's going to be an exciting hire because he is a lifelong Braves fan.
Well, and I was wanting to get Tom Hart because I liked him a lot.
I think Tom would have been great.
Yeah, I think he's got too many things in the
too many SEC games.
Too much going on. Okay, well, let's talk about the game last night. I know disappointing for you. Oakland played very well last night. But, man, it just seemed like you couldn't get the shots to fall last night.
Yeah, John, we got into a little hole in the first half, and I was really proud how the girls came out second half. And, we actually take the lead a little bit. But for whatever reason, this year against Oakland, we can never get it above a 2-possession game. And last night it was really a 1-possession game. When we talked about that coming in, if we could ever get it to a 3 or 4 possession game, they had to play from behind. I think the outcome might have been a little bit different. But, we had our chances. We had shots from people that we want shooting the ball. We had looks that we wanted, and it just did not go our way last night.
I can't remember so many going in and out of the hoop. I know Murray took 2 threes for sure. That came in, went out.
Yeah, John, and Maritza Wright had a couple as well. Tony Davis had some at the basket. I was really proud of the effort, and we got to keep shooting them. We got to still keep having the confidence as we go forward to shoot those shots, and just keep having the confidence that the next time that we shoot them, they're going to go in.
I know you had to feel as good as you can feel after the big comeback because you guys got down in a hole pretty good and came back with that lead. And, again, what you're saying is one more shot. You had a couple of chances to go up by 3 or 4, and it just couldn't fall. It just didn't happen.
Yeah, John, like I said, I was real proud of them. The possession, we're up 1 with the ball. We executed what we wanted to do. We had the shots that we wanted. They just didn't go in. We had some that, maybe a possession or so that we might have shot an outside shot, and we might have had somebody in the post that we wanted to feed it to, looking back. But I'll be honest, I'll live with every shot that we took in that sequence. I do feel like for us, getting stops was going to be the biggest key last night because we had played them a week before and they gave up 75 points. So coming in and leading up to the game, all we talked about was defense. We're a defensive first team. That's what we've been based on ever since I've been there. The defense was there last night. Held them in the 40s. We fouled a little bit at the end to make them. I think it ended up 47-41. But it's 43-41 with us with the ball, and we had a chance. And coming in, we wanted to make sure the game was in the 40s defensively. We did that. I think we shot about 32% or so from the floor last night. That's not normally us. We're normally in the 40s. And, I don't, some nights it just happens that way. The last time we played Oakland, we scored 65 points. So, going in, it was, we thought we were going to be able to score more. Were we going to be able to stop them defensively? We did stop them defensively, and then we went back to not scoring as much as we did last time.
Well, Murray had a great game. Underneath the basket, you had her posting up, which that was a good move, I thought, and she responded and got some big rebounds too.
Absolutely, Kamaria, last night got to play a little bit of her natural position where she can really show you what she can do down on the block. She can do that pretty much any night against any team we play. She can score it down on the block when she wants to. And, for us, we've had to have her at the point for the last 3 years. But we got a couple of players back, including Maritza Wright, that, can play a little bit of point for us and was able to let her get inside some last night. We were able to take advantage of it. I thought Maritza and Isabella Wright both played a really good game last night, as well with Aiden Wilkerson. And we were able to take advantage of Kamaria down on the block because she has that kind of skill set where she could go down on the block and score 15 to 20 points in a given night.
And it was such a strange game. It was like it's not that I know you didn't shoot well, but you did shoot well enough. But it was when you missed shots. It's like it seemed like it was always at a time when it's either going to take the lead or you're going to cut it. It took a while to get to the lead, but you did get there, and that was a big factor. But hats off to Oakland. They played well defensively, and I thought Sutton had a real good game defensively. She was all over the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to credit Oakland. they played a really good game. That's a tough matchup for us. I felt like going into this game, we had some advantages on our offensive side of the floor. And I felt like going into the game that Oakland had a few offensive advantages on their side of the floor. And I thought for the most part, we did a pretty good job of taking away things that had hurt us in the past. Now, there were a few times where, we would get them to shoot it the way we wanted them to shoot it, and we wouldn't box out, and they would go get it and go score, which, that we had put an emphasis on that coming into the week, coming into the game, and we just couldn't finish the possession. And then, on the other side of it, we had a lot of shots at the rim, layups, 2-footers, whatever. And the rule of basketball that basketball gods know, when you miss layups and 2-footers, on the other end, you're going to give up a layup or a 2-footer. And that's kind of what got us a little bit last night. When we would have it at the rim, they would, we'd have good looks, they'd pop out, they'd get a rebound, they'd go get a layup on the other end.
We're talking with Bill Hockenberry, the head coach of the Rockville Rockets. And Bill, when we're talking about records, it's been a great season. I mean, I think a lot of times when you get in the heat of district tournaments and that kind of thing, you go, well, man, we just, we're not playing well, but, 19 or 20 wins. And you've had the struggles have come really against Blackman and Oakland.
Yeah, exactly, John. We're 19-6 overall. Had a really good season. Have a chance Monday night to go get our second straight 20-win season. Have a chance to get third place and going to go have a chance to advance in the region tournament. I think it'll be either Cane Ridge or Stewart's Creek is now who we're looking at playing in the region. And we got a lot still to play for. We've had a really good season. I'm really proud of our girls. We had, coming into the season, we thought we were going to have 5 of our top 7 players from last year coming back. And as it turned out, we really only had, for the most of the season, 2 of those 7.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of players really step up. And, and I just want to take a minute and really thank a few of these players that have really done a really good job for us to get to where we are. Annabelle Marlin, who is the second leading three-point shooter in our school's history, and is actually, John, she's played in the most games in Rockville history. She's the games played leader. She passed it about 6 games ago. Has been a really good leader for us and a really big part of our program for the last 4 years. Grace Ushery really stepped up this year and gave us good minutes when we had people out. And we would not be where we are right now in the region with a chance for a second straight 20-win season without Grace Ushery. And I know myself, I understand, and I'm very thankful for these players that have done this for us this year. I thought Aiden Wilkerson has really stepped up and had a really good season. I thought she had a really good game last night. Kyla Crawford came back a couple weeks ago from a knee injury, gave us some good minutes. Beginning of the season and towards the middle was really coming into her own before she had her little injury. At the next level Nashville tournament, scored 18 points against Providence Christian Academy and was an all-tournament player. And, we have a lot of these kids that got experience this year and have led us to where we're at. And, against Oakland and Blackman, the matchups are sometimes a little bit harder than when you face with some of these other teams. That's why they're some of the best teams in the state of Tennessee. And one of our, weaknesses is we're not overall the biggest team, that you're going to see. And when we play some of these teams like Oakland and Blackman, they are very, they're big and they're long and they're
physical
and they're physical and they are fast. And I think that's a part against Oakland and Blackman that's underrated is how fast they are.
Mm-hmm.
And we have really good athletes too, but against them sometimes the matchups and the speed and the length, it's a chess match. And I thought we had figured it out a little bit last night. We gave ourselves a chance to win right there at the end. Shots just didn't go down. We're excited about where we're at, and we hope to have that chance again in the next week.
Well, I wanted to mention that you've got to let that one go, right? And that's what you're going to do, and get to work again, because you don't have any time much to think about it. You got a consolation game here for third place, and it's a big win against a Siegel team that's played pretty well. Now you handled them pretty well the last time you played them. But again, we're in a district tournament, so you
You never know. Anything can
out.
happen, and that's why we got to come ready to play. We've got to bring our A game. We know that Siegel's going to play us hard. Siegel knows what this game means. It's a difference. In playing, going into playing the number 1 team from the other side or playing the number 2 team from the other side. So we understand what it's about. We have a lot on the line. We've got, another 20-win season on the line. We got another chance to put ourselves in position to advance in the region tournament and get to that region semifinal with a chance at getting to the sectional. And that's all you're wanting to do is get into that region semifinal night, have a chance to advance, and to give yourself the best chance to get to that state tournament.
And you're going to know who you're going to play here very soon. And
Yep.
I guess you'll work this weekend some to try to. You don't have a lot of time, but I know you've studied both of the 2 teams that you could possibly play.
Yeah, exactly, John. And actually, I'm going tonight. They're going to play at 5:00 tonight at Cane Ridge, so I'll be there scouting it. So we'll know going into the game, win or lose, who we're going to play Monday night. As soon as our game's over, I can go right into both of those teams and get a head start into it.
It's one really. We talk about one game at a time, Bill, but it really is one game at a time now. I mean, it's just the next step is Monday.
Exactly right, and we got to take it one game at a time, one step at a time, and we're gonna go back, have a couple of days to kind of recoup from this, and come in with a good attitude on Monday and be ready to go.
Bill?
John, one other thing
Yes.
real quick. I want to just I should have said this last time I was on, but I want to wish our boys good luck tonight in the semifinals against Siegel. The first time they've had a region berth.
Great strides, yes.
And I'm really proud of what Coach Wendell and the boys, Coach Bond and Coach Matike and the staff, Chad Vinson, has done over there. And we're excited to go over there tonight after I get done scouting my game that I got to go watch. I'm coming back to Blackman to watch our boys. And, for the Rockville community, it's fun having 2 teams that, go to the region for the first time, together, and having the back end and of the fans and the community. It's a good thing, and really wishing them good luck tonight and the rest of the way.
Yeah, they've had a great season. They've really done well, and you as well. And good luck on Monday night. And tell Luker that they're having baked spaghetti in the hospitality room.
I will let him know.
Okay,
that.
I'm sure he'll be interested in that. All right, that's Bill Hockenberry, the head coach of the Rockville Rockets. They play in the consolation game on Monday at Blackman. And coming up, it's more of Danny Brewer here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
An app for easy payment.
Solar energy solutions.
I just want to talk to a real person when I need help. Energy tips and low rates.
Done, 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 done.
I want to fly my car to the moon.
Houston, let's talk about electric vehicles. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Okay, Danny Brewer here. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza with 4 Murfreesboro locations: Memorial Boulevard, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford Boulevard, and Old Fort Parkway. Get hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. Once again, I'm Danny Brewer. I'm joined now by Siegel girls basketball coach Shane Young. Coach Young, how are we this morning?
I'm doing good, sir. How about yourself?
Well, I'm quite well. We got sunshine. I don't know about the groundhog, because I think he said 6 more weeks of winter. Of course, yesterday was definitely winter, but we've had some 70s. Today it's going to be sunshiny and 50. I think it's all good. What do you think?
I think it's real good. Yesterday was cold snow flurries, so we'll take the sun.
Yeah, so let's talk about some real sunshine here, and that's Siegel girls basketball region tournament bound for the first time in quite a few years. That's got to be a great thing over there in Star Country.
I think so. We're definitely trying to grow the program and grow it in the right direction. And, been 12 years since we've been able to to make a regional appearance. So I thought it was definitely an exciting time for the young ladies and Siegel Stars basketball. I really do believe that it's coming together as far as even the school. We had a couple of principals came out last night and supported. So I really think it's pretty awesome that we had all 3 women principals come out and support, which was really awesome. And so just seeing that is definitely seeing the growth in where the program could be going and changing in the right direction.
Well, Coach, you like to see these things because hard work rewarded. I mean, because that's absolutely true for these girls in this team. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, from the time I took the job, and you had a bunch of freshmen and sophomores, really kind of your bright spots. You was hoping to, and you had a couple of seniors sprinkled in there. I keep telling them each footstep in the sand. This last senior group was able to get us a team together where we was having 12 to 15 and started a JV. Crystal Peralta, who was our one senior this year, was able to take us over the hump and give us that opportunity to make the region, our first double-digit wins since 2012, I believe 14. And so it was just awesome just to see the growth. And now that the young ones can kind of take and put their footprint in the stand going forward. And so I just definitely believe that each group definitely will make their imprint on this program. They can be something that can be sustained later on.
Coach, talk a little bit about one of your players, Ayanna Young. I know that she had a good game in the win over Riverdale in the district tournament. So talk a little bit about Young and what she has done for Siegel, not only this past week, but this year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she's been pretty much our consistent three-point shooter. I think Tuesday she had, three threes. She has led us in scoring a couple of times this year. And really just her knowledge of the game. I think that she brings a good element to this team. She's just a junior. She's a fun-loving person to have on the court. Her and Jasmine Sneed and Chris Peralta are really great friends. And so when you have them kind of, orchestrating your team a little bit with Ellie Walker and then the young class, Izzy, and everybody kind of coming behind her, it definitely gives a good vibe, a good atmosphere, and a good team-oriented type player. And she's definitely been that for us going forward. And stepping up her role as being a shooter has definitely impacted and helped us kind of get to where we at right now.
Coach, what's the makeup of your roster as far as seniors, juniors, sophomores type? What kind of numbers you got?
We got one senior, which is Crystal Peralta, which on Tuesday night she definitely came out and helped us, with coming in and hitting a couple of threes as well. Not wanting to go home and kind of want to get us to that next level. And then you follow by Ellie Walker, Jasmine Sneed, Ayanna Young, and McKenna. So four juniors, I want to say 7 sophomores and 1 freshman.
Well, so that bodes very good for the future. I mean, especially when you think about you're getting more games, and those postseason games can be great learning experiences. So you know you're going to play Monday night, and you're going to play at least one more game too. So that's got to be good, right, for these young kids?
Yes, that's what we were talking about in the locker room after last night's loss. Is that it's new to us, but playoff basketball, tournament basketball is a different mindset, and you have to, go into that push deep into that grind and push deep into your heart to be a competitor. And when you get to this level, it's not about who's hurt, it's not about who's injured, it's about who's going to push through the fatigue and the tired and the mental blockage and try to really compete at a high level. And so I definitely think this opportunity for us to play into another week or two is definitely, I think it's going to benefit us in the long run because we're so young. That's what you keep saying. If you get here this year, then next year, hopefully you like, okay, I've been here before. Now let me start developing that mindset of what it takes to play at this next level, what I call next level basketball.
Absolutely, and I think that's a Kingfish Ingram Blues song as we've been here before, and that's only going to be a good thing for you. Now, talking about being here before, Monday night, let's talk about that game. I guess you're playing against Rockvale, a team that you've played a couple of times before.
Yeah, it's not one game I go into and think that we cannot win. I do think we do for an upset. I just think the girls, we have set goals, and we have kind of reached every goal. The one goal left is an upset on somebody. That's how I feel. We're going to upset somebody, I think Rockville is an awesome program, a great team, of course. But like anything, I go into any game thinking that we can compete and we can play with you. And we still haven't put 4 quarters together yet. We still searching for them 4 quarters. We've been all season where we give maybe 2 quarters good, have a letdown third quarter or a letdown second quarter. But we haven't had a 4-quarter game where we just came out and we competed to our best, and every girl was on at the same time. It's either Jasmine Sneed on, Ayana not on, Ayana on, Amaya's not on, Amaya's on, Izzy Hodge not on. And so we haven't had where the 4 or 5 girls that have been leading us in scoring this year have just been on at the same time. And so we can get that against a really great Rockville team. I do think that we do for upset. But Rockville has been here before. So the mindset for them is a little different than the mindset probably for us going in. But that's a part of the tournament that you never know. And so I'm excited just to have the opportunity to play against Coach Hockenberry and his team and just give ourselves a chance.
Well, Coach Hockenberry does a fantastic job over there. Talk about a guy who's intense. He's fun to watch if you're just a casual observer. But I think that you made a great point, and this is what I was going to talk about next. Everybody's record, it doesn't matter what your regular season record was at this time because it's playoff basketball, right?
Yes. The record's out the window. The record's out the window. And, and you have seen it in college basketball ranks this year. Look how many people that have been ranked number 1 that has been knocked off. You're starting to see basketball, and even on the women's side and the men's side, to where at some point, if you just believe and you can go in there and you fight any given night, it's a possibility that you can knock off a top-seeded team. And so I've always believed in that. And then, like I said, playoffs is just different. It's a different mind. It's a different grind. And if you can, sustain the mental part of it, I do think you give yourself an opportunity. And that's what it's all about. And that's all I kept saying. If we give ourselves an opportunity, I definitely think is what it's all about. And I think even for us as our district, I think our district has been one of the toughest districts that you can really play in. And no knock to other districts, but it's just, you talking about Rockville, Oakland, and Blackman leading the fray. That's 3 powerhouses, And so I just think if you give us opportunity for all of us in playoff basketball, it's 0-0 or 1-2, but really we don't keep up with records. We keep up with what the next game is and how can you get to the next game.
Absolutely, and when you throw in Riverdale in there, and I know Riverdale has been down this year, but traditionally they have been extremely strong. So it is a very tough district, and there's there's no disputing that.
Oh, like you said, Riverdale traditionally has been up, and so so it's always just one of them things where this district has been hard for anybody. It don't matter who it is, and the Murfreesboro schools are to me just one of the best places to play in because you never know. You never know what a layout and how it shapes, and what's coming out of this area. Even with Central Magnet doing what they doing, it's just so many schools up here. Eagleville at the outside. It's so many schools up here that are really competitive and really great basketball, especially on the girls' side.
Yeah, girls basketball in Middle Tennessee has been strong for a long time. Now, when we not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but obviously you can think about region because you will be playing in the region. The importance of this game is pretty big when you think about Rockville because of you would much rather be in the 2-3 game in the first round of the region than the 1-4 game, right, Coach?
Yes, and and that's, you say that, and and I've been a part of teams that you say that, and then I've seen the 1 team on the other side fall to the 2 team, and so you say that, but it's also a possibility that the number 1 team on the other side might get upset, and now you're like, oh wow. So I just think you just gotta play. And you want to go out and try to win and try to get that third place game, or that third place spot to play. The 2 team on there. However, you never know where the chips may fall on that other side, so you just got to go out and play, and just be prepared for whichever opponents you play, which is the 3rd, 4th, or 3rd, 2nd, or 4th, 1. And just give yourself an opportunity. So I try to look ahead, try not to look too far ahead, but tonight we will go and we try to watch the other side and just see what's going on over there. So I'm excited. This is the part of the basketball that you want to be excited for, to be able to just go and watch other teams play and just kind of see what you can measure up against the other side.
Coach, talk for a second about the ace in the hole you got on the bench, Sean Middleton. How about that man?
And he's a great guy. He's a great guy. Definitely happy that we was able to kind of bring him back to just, he said he wanted to be out the house and hang out, and he's definitely been that, a great person to bounce ideas off of, great all-around person. He liked to sit on the bench and just, he keeps all the stats, something he decided he wanted to do, and he does an awesome job at that, and like I said, just kind of look at him and talk a little bit of X's and O's here and there, and he gives a great insight on the game. He's been around for a long time. He actually coached my cousin in Smyrna way back in the day. So, we had already had kind of a relationship, and so it wasn't hard to just bring him back to just, be more like a consultant, and kind of just pick his brain a little bit on the X's and O's strategy.
Well, Coach, you're doing great things over there. The Siegel Stars are go get out there Monday night, everybody, and watch the Siegel Stars. Those Lady Stars, they've aimed high, they've shot high. They're really, really doing a great job over there. Coach Shane Young, we appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck. The Coaches Show is brought to you by J. Mullins Jewelry, a family-owned and operated business treating clients like family since 1938. Jewelry design, repair, and a wide selection of great jewelry pieces. Online at mullinsjewelry.com. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. Tell us what it's like to work at a family business.
It's a lot of fun. However, it's a lot of work. Everybody has to pull their weight equally.
What do you think are some of the advantages of people doing business with a family business versus a corporate business?
We are here to answer all questions. We're responsible for scheduling jobs. We're not here to sell you material and pass you off to a list of installers.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
The Blue Raiders fan source for officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear is Raider Tees, located at 910 Ridgely Road, behind Chewy's, just off Broad Street.
Time to get out in the cold in style with officially licensed Middle Tennessee stocking caps, coats, jackets, sweats, scarves, and more. If it's blue and white with the Middle Tennessee logo, you can bet the best selection in town is at Raider Tees.
Raider Tees by Ideas Tees, 910 Ridgely Road, off Broad between Chewy's and Chili's.
It's time to talk MTCS sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
Danny Brewer here. Welcome to the Cougar Corner. We are very fortunate now to be joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School girls basketball coach Hannah Jones. Coach Jones, how are we this morning?
Yeah, a little sleepy. We played last night in the region semifinals and we play again tonight, but it's exciting and it's sunny outside, so we're good.
This time of year, it's the weather, I'm sure it doesn't really know what it wants to be doing, but, it was shorts the day before yesterday, the fur coat yesterday, and maybe just long sleeve T-shirt today, right?
Yeah, exactly. Who knows what's going to happen?
Okay, Coach, so the first thing that I want to talk about is I want to make a horse racing reference. I'm a big horse racing guy. Back a horse and get paid. That's my slogan for my website and everything. There's a horse running today in the Rachel Alexander Stakes at Fairgrounds in New Orleans, and that's a big prep for the Kentucky Oaks. And this horse's name is Who's Your Filly. She's an outstanding 3-for-3 lifetime. Tom Amos trained. She's the morning line favorite in that race. When we talk about Who's Your Filly, I think we know who your filly is, and that's a girl named Jalen Banks. Talk a little bit about Jalen Banks.
Well, Jalen is definitely a great player. She is also just a great human being as well. Last night against a really tough National Christian, she dropped 28, and she was the only one in double digits which can mean like that could be dangerous for our team if we're just relying on Jay. But we executed defensively last night, and Jay's a huge part of that. I've said this before, but she's an elite defender, and on the ball, she can stop anyone, and she can jump out the gym. So I think that just like from start to finish, offense to defense, she is a really well-rounded player who is tough to guard and also a tough defender. So she is an all-around player.
She's also a Miss Basketball finalist. Am I correct about that?
You are.
Which, I mean, that's one of those things where whether she wins the award or not, just to be mentioned in that breath of fresh air is outstanding.
Oh, yeah, and it's very well-deserved for her. I mean, not just stats-wise, but we have a lot of other talent on our team as well, and so and she's standing out consistently night in, night out, doing exactly what she's supposed to do. So I think she represents the state of Tennessee, Division 2A, really, really well of what girls basketball can be and the high-quality caliber talent that we have in our division. And I think she's a fantastic representation of that and is very deserving of it.
Now, we know she hit 28 against Nashville Christian in a big 53-44 Lady Cougar win. Tuesday night, I think she dropped 21 against Ezell Harding. So talk a little bit about that game because, for me, I'm an old-time Middle Tennessee guy, Smyrna, born and raised and all that kind of stuff. Ezell Harding and Middle Tennessee Christian has been like a kind of this long-standing rivalry of sorts that's maybe been rekindled a little bit in recent times. So talk about winning over Ezell Harding.
I think Ezell has definitely come onto the scene, and they have a lot of really great pieces as well. They're very long. They're very athletic. They love to push the ball. They love to get a lot of shots up and crash their boards. They averaged, I think, double-digit offensive rebounds almost every night. So box outs were key, just, doing the little things on defense, which Jay is really great at. Our team they have really bought into executing team defense-wise. So also Autumn Davis, she does a fantastic job on defense. And she's our point guard when she pushes in transition. She gets things going. Anna Clay Shirley stepped up big. She hit 3 threes and had 19 points behind Jay. And I just think that it was a really tough win. And Ezell played tough. They played hard. They were physical. They were long. They were hitting, those mid-range, low-percentage shots that you're usually okay with giving up. They were knocking those down consistently. Like it's not like kind of like a luck shot. Like they were doing that with ease. So that was a tough game for us, and we were lucky to come out on top. So,
Coach, you mentioned earlier, played last night, play again tonight. Who you got tonight?
Webb
School. And where will that game be played at?
Good Pasture Christian School.
Okay, all right. Now, just educate me a little bit because I'm a little bit out of touch on you guys because I know you started your tournament last week, correct? As far as district goes.
Yeah, we kind of started a week earlier. My husband, he coaches over at Stewart's Creek, and they just started kind of their district, and we're already into our region finals. So we start a whole lot earlier than everyone else, which I don't mind. I think it's great that we get to start earlier, and we also finish earlier too. Like our state tournament is that first weekend of March. So it's been a whirlwind, and we're already here.
So is this like a sub-state game, like a sectional game tonight against Webb?
No, it's the region championship. So the top 4 of our region move on no matter what. So next Tuesday we will have the sub-state kind of state play-in games.
Okay, and now I guess tonight's game determines if you win tonight's game, right? If you win tonight's game, you host, and if you lose tonight's game, you travel. Is that correct?
So if we win, I think we get a bye. And then if we lose, we still host a play-in game. The 3rd and 4th seeded teams have to travel.
So it's structured a little bit differently than like the Class 3A, Class 4A, those type things.
I guess so. I don't know. We're not in that, so I don't pay attention to that as much.
So I guess where does he coach at Stewart's Creek? Does he coach boys?
Yeah.
He's on the staff with Matt Bradshaw?
Uh-huh.
All right, very good. Yeah, because I probably saw him last night. Didn't know it, but I was at their game last night didn't necessarily go the way they wanted it to, but
yeah, it was a tough one, I heard.
yeah, and they just ran into a buzzsaw. You know, Laverne shot the ball extremely well, and then Stuart Creek didn't. So then that happens. So let's talk a little bit about tonight's matchup with Webb. You've played them how many times in the regular season?
So, sorry if you can hear my dog. She wants to go outside.
That's all right. The dogs are howling early this morning.
Sorry. So we played them home and home regular season, and then the district championship, so that's 3. Now the region championship, that's 4. If we continue on and we can see them again in state, that will be 5 total times.
So what have you done against them so far?
Oh, you know, we do a lot of different things. So I definitely try to play to our strength and our personnel. They obviously have a lot of different threats across their starting 5 and into their bench. So their number one thing is paint touches and pushing in transition. So if we can slow the transition down, pack the paint, that is key. They can shoot the 3, but you know, you're going to have to pick your poison there. Offensively, we got to get Jay straight lines. We've got to get inside out for Anna Clay. Autumn and Jay just definitely have to do their jobs. And everyone else has to be ready to step up. I definitely don't think that the offensive glass is, that's typically a strength of ours. It's probably a battle we don't need to be wasting energy on. So I'm great with us getting back in transition, packing the paint, and then just opening up those lanes for Jay, Autumn, and inside out for the rest of our shooters. So that's kind of, we'll keep it simple, keep it basic. We only have to beat them one time. And hopefully, prayerfully, we can do that in the state championship.
There you go. Now, as far as the record, as far as, I mean, have you beaten them this year? Or have they beaten? What's been the record as far as the previous meetings with?
So we have played them since last year. So 2 years at MTCS I've been coaching. We have not beaten Webb. So we played them 4 times last year. So we're 0-8 against them. But hey, what is that movie Miracle, where it's like you only have to, like, you can play a team 9 times, and on the 10th time that you just need to beat them once? That's kind of my perspective.
Well, and I think you're absolutely right. Now, and I think that maybe the advantage is with you folks instead of them, because when you are always winning, then I think there's a lot more pressure on them than there is on you guys.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's a given. I definitely think we have a lot of advantages with the outside perspective looking in. It is. We're just playing with house money, honestly. Like, we have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and I think that you're right. Like, the perspective is if you're winning that much and you have the talent that you do, you should win. And if you don't, then that's probably a red flag. Like, I think that that's a lot of pressure on them and a lot of pressure on those girls. So all we have to do is focus on us and what we have to do and control what we can control against them.
Well, you know, Coach, with that in mind, I mean, you know, they may be the morning line favorite in the race today, but as we know, in this scenario, anything can happen.
Oh, any given team can win on any given night. I'm a wholehearted believer in that.
So as far as the postseason grind that you're in now, I know that you folks played a very good schedule during the regular season. You've had a very nice season to this point. Do you feel like that you're prepared for this?
Yes, I do. I think we are state championship worthy. I think we have to just choose to execute in the ways that make us great and not just kind of have those mental mistakes of just kind of not making the decisions that we normally make and understanding like scouting report defense, which our girls have really done a great job of. We've done it from the beginning of season to now. So I think it's just been with repetition, with consistency, that it just continues to come together at the right time. So we don't need to be perfect tonight. We just got to be continuing to do what we do, and I think it'll pay off in the long run and get us back to Cookville.
The pieces to the puzzle, it sounds like you've got the pieces to the puzzle. I mean, you can defend, you got girls who can shoot, and you've got a go-to player. And I think that having that go-to player is very important this time of year. Oh, yeah. And obviously a lot of people focus on her. She can score at all 3 levels. She's definitely skilled, high percentages in how she's finishing. So that's a tough, like, you've got to have a lot of focus on her. But I also think that
it opens up room for our other players. Like last night, Autumn Davis, number 5, our point guard. She came in towards the end really, really when we ISO'd her in some straight line drives that she did a great job finishing there. She got downhill. She finished with composure and control, and then defensively she got it done on the other end. And then obviously Anna Clay shooting 37% from 3. And we have a lot of other really great pieces that get it done defensively. We've been starting Ashley Rucker, who's a freshman, and she earned her starting spot just through her defense. She's a sponge. She's super coachable, so really thankful to have her, as well as we have a couple other pieces too. Riley Smith, Claire Knight, a junior and sophomore right there, who bring different elements as well. Maddie Graham, she's a freshman off the bench as well, who's a sharp shooter. So there's a lot of pieces. We just got to make sure we're all clicking on all cylinders.
As you've built this puzzle and you've constructed these pieces, what's been the makeup of the roster as far as your junior, senior, that kind of stuff that you have over there, Coach?
Well, we've started 2 freshmen all year, 2 seniors, sometimes a junior, sometimes a sophomore. So we're really kind of all over the place. We have 3 seniors. Kaylee Jackson is the other senior, and she's had kind of a comeback from a knee surgery, and she's a very high IQ player as well. So with 3 seniors, we've got 2 juniors who give us good minutes and do their jobs well. And then we've got, 3 sophomores. And then we have Kylie Jo, Ashley, AC, Maddie, 4 freshmen. So our freshman class is strong as well.
So when you think about this puzzle and these pieces that you've constructed and all that kind of stuff, is it good for you as a coach to see these players mesh together when you think about the seniors and the freshmen and watching them mold together as a group?
Oh yeah, we definitely from the start, like in preseason in October, we do like it starts then of our family building and our team building. So just starting off from then, understanding each other, understanding how to talk to each other, understanding how we listen to each other. It's definitely was a lot of time and a lot of grace and a lot of communication skills. And I'm not saying high school girls are perfect in any of those areas, but they definitely love each other. They definitely play for each other. I think they play for a bigger purpose as well. They understand that this is not their identity. Like basketball and the points they put up does not determine if we love them or not, So that's super cool that they understand that they have to pour into each other when they're serving each other. They're not thinking of themselves. It's a really beautiful team. And I think that MTCS girls, they're just special kids. And so I'm really thankful for them.
When you think about what you just said, basketball is, there's these sayings, basketball is life, they have that about all sports. But in reality, it's not. It's just a building. Yeah. It's just a building block, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. The lessons they learn. So I'm biased, obviously, but girls basketball, I think, is one of the toughest sports. You've got summer ball, and they play AAU travel ball. You really only have a week off in spring, and then you get a dead period in June, July, and then it's back to workouts, back to school. You go through flu season. You go through exams. You go through, I don't know, people have stuff going on with families. They have stuff going on in their classes, and then they're trying to go play in college. And it's just there's so much going on, but when in life are we not doing so many things, So that it's definitely a great preparation for young women to be successful later in life, to handle their own business and to be just strong, independent thinkers, flexible thinkers, understanding challenges and solution and problem solving. And it's a great sport for young girls.
Coach, I think that what you said is just bam. I mean, that is so on it, especially when you talk about today's world, because society is so busy. And basketball is a sport that you can play year round because you play inside, so it's not weather dependent like softball or football or baseball or any of those or track and field or any of those kind of things.
Oh, I know. Well, hey, we with the storms coming in, I wouldn't say weather dependent. We still had to get all those girls home safe, so I wouldn't say it's always weather safe but definitely being an indoor sport helps. But it's tough. It's a physical game. It's a mental game. It's fun. It's exciting. It's competitive. You can get swept up in the heat of the moment, but I think it's just another learning lesson of pushing out the clutter. Like I think one time last night our fans were definitely unhappy with a call. We had taken a timeout. The girls were upset. You know how that can get.
Right.
And it was just like, block it out. Block your fans out. Block your parents out right now. Block the refs out. Just focus on us and what we have to do. And I think that was a great moment for the girls to just stay in the mental toughness, execute on defense, and they did that. And I was just so proud of them.
Well, Coach, like I said, you couldn't be more spot on. The last thing that we want to talk about here with MTCS girls basketball coach Hannah Jones is food, because we talked last time about our prime rib and our au jus and all that kind of stuff. So it's Mardi Gras time. So what is going to be the Hannah Jones go-to dish for the Mardi Gras? What you got cooking for Mardi Gras here?
Oh, man, you're talking about like ingredients for our team or a pregame meal? Because we know, shout out to Beth Shirley, Mary D. Francis, they've been cooking for the girls like ballers recently. The girls love their pregame meal.
Well, that's great. Well, we can kind of combine them both because, we got a little red beans and rice going on here. We got some seasoned pork chop. What do we got going on?
Oh, gosh. So I guess our normal. We've got Jay. We've got Autumn Davis. We've got Anna Clay Shirley. Sophomore post, Claire Knight, kind of a different look than a small lineup. And then Ashley Rucker, who has been starting at the 5 for us. We kind of moved her out on the perimeter because she's just done a fantastic job guarding perimeter and being able to get straight lines. So we do our job on defense. We pack the paint. We keep people off the boards, push it, fly it in transition, utilize our athleticism, use those driving lanes that Autumn and Jay open up, and then Anna Clay just needs to continue to be ready for those inside-out, gun-side threes.
So it sounds like we got a little shrimp etouffee, maybe some crawdads. I don't know. You like those mud bugs, Coach? Do you like those?
Sure.
Nothing like a good shrimp bowl, right? So
I have only ever done one crawfish boil, and it was a fun time.
Yeah, so there we go. We'll
lay it out on the table, and everybody can come to the table.
That's right. And maybe we'll have a little crawfish bowl tonight. But like you said, the web game, you're going to beat them when it matters most, and that's what counts. So Coach, we certainly appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck, not only tonight, but as Middle Tennessee Christian moves forward. That's Hannah Jones, Middle Tennessee Christian School head girls basketball coach. Thank you, Coach. Wish you the best of luck.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive, talking with Anne Marie Brents.
When people walk in and they're like, tell me what's good, I usually tell them the loaded baked potato, which is a fully loaded potato with the butter, sour cream, cheese, bacon, and chives, and then we put meat on top of it.
At Rick's, they use the largest potatoes you can find.
Every Tuesday, we run a special on the loaded potatoes. We call it Tater Tuesday, and we sell a lot of potatoes.
Barbecue, smoked chicken, ribs, they've got it all at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive, and online at ricksbbq.com.
It's MTCS Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
On FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Back here on MTCS Cougar Corner, we're going to quickly wrap things up here this morning as we've got lots of hoops for you today on WGNS. Coming up at 10:30, the Lady Raiders at FIU. That's a 10:30 airtime and an 11 o'clock tip with Dick Palmer on the road. Men play at 4:30 this afternoon versus FIU. We'll have that one on WGNS Radio as well. District 7 4A boys semifinals will begin tonight on WGNSSports.com, and then we'll transition to radio after the Raider men host FIU. Let's see. Let's kind of recap your week this week for Middle Tennessee Christian School. Just give you some of the results in girls basketball. We've already talked about that this morning, but MTCS girls win a hard-fought defensive battle versus Nashville Christian last night, 53-45 the final score. They had a hot start, the Eagles did, from three-point range, but MTCS battled, and Coach Jones said mentally battled and executed on defense with only one Lady Cougar in double-digit scoring. A great night for the team in a defensive effort. Jalen Banks had 28 on the night, 9 points for Davis, 6 for Graham, 4 for Knight, Rucker with 3, Smith 2, and Shirley with 1. Tied at the end of the first, but a great second quarter, winning that one 17-9. Lost the third quarter 12-9, but won the final stanza by 3 to pick up the victory to move on to play at 4 o'clock today, or make that 6 o'clock today, for the fourth time this season, playing Webb over at Good Pasture. So kind of saw this one coming, didn't we? Earlier this week, a 61-44 win in region play over Eazell Harding. Coach Jones said a tough and athletic Eazell team. Lady Cougars guaranteed that play-in game now with their wins this week in the region. Jalen Banks in that Eazell game had 21 points, 19 for Shirley, Davis with 8, Rucker 7, Smith 4, and Knight with 2. So, again, the Lady Cougars will be playing this afternoon, and that will be at 6 o'clock, I guess this evening, if we want to get technical, versus Webb over at Good Pasture. We need a lot of orange and white in the stands to cheer on the Lady Cougars in this one. Well, we hope you enjoyed the Coaches Show this morning. Again, on WGNS high school coverage this evening of the District 7 4A Tournament Boys Semifinals. Again, we'll start streaming only at 5:50 airtime. Then we'll transition to radio after the Raider men's game. Right here on News Radio, WGNS. I'm Brian Barrett. Thank you so very much for joining us this morning. I want to thank all of the coaches who made their way on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner and MTCS Cougar Corner. And my thanks to our producer, Dalton Barrett. For Danny Brewer, for John Dinkins, I'm Brian Barrett. Have a wonderful Saturday, and we'll see you later this evening at the game. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Here at Bud's Tire, we make buying Michelin tires simpler. I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We offer a straightforward approach to service, including nationwide warranties with every purchase. Stop in today to see our full lineup of Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. For whatever you drive, Michelin and BF Goodrich have a tire to fit any need. Bud's Tire Pros, hassle-free, guaranteed. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstirepros.tn.com.
If you want to get some barbecue, I'll tell you how to do it. Head for the Slick Pig and you're into it. Just walk through the door at 19